Sadhguru Jagi Vasudev is a realized master, mystic, and yogi. He has shown the way for people to attain to their natural joy and to live life with experience from one's own inner nature. His presence is filled with grace and compassion. Sadhguru's scientific approach towards spirituality and work towards the upliftment of humanity have received accolades worldwide. The words that come from him in intensity and utmost clarity, from his deep understanding and wisdom, can change the very core of the being. Belonging to no particular tradition, Sadhguru incorporates what is most valid for the modern person from the spiritual sciences. His work, an outpouring of his blissfulness, finds expression in the form of a ceaseless offering to help all beings. Available to all who are willing, Sadhguru's life is an invitation to the divine through individual transformation. Welcome to the silent revolution of self-realization.
If you have questions, any kind of question.
Pranams, Sadhguru. I get up at 6 a.m.
I'm sorry?
I get up at 6 a.m. Hurry-burry cooking. Get the children ready. Start by 8:30 a.m. to the office. Back from the office by 6:30. Then freshening up the children, myself, prayer, cook food, homework, sleep. In this hectic schedule, where can I fit yoga in my life?
Now, you get up at 6 o'clock and whatever time you go to bed, you have a busy day. Where is the time for yoga? You have time to eat, you have time to gossip, you have time to work, you have time to take care of everything, but you have no time to take care of yourself. That's what you're telling me. Now, this attitude is like you try to act like a martyr all the time. I have no time for myself, I'm giving myself totally to everybody. What is it that you're giving? Your agitations, irritations, your anxieties, passing it on to children, isn't it? If you're really concerned about your children, if you're truly concerned about your children, creating a joyful and loving atmosphere for their growth is most important. Not providing them shiny boots, not providing them better clothes, not providing them video games, not providing them something else is important. You creating an atmosphere of joy and love around them on a daily basis, moment to moment, is more important than all the nonsense that you're providing. Isn't it so? Isn't it so? Yes or no? So what is your focus about life? If you're able to manage your work and your children, everything, do it. If you're unable to, do what you can do. Everybody can only do that much, isn't it? You want to do everything in the world, you will definitely go insane. How much you can do, each individual has to decide. Somebody may be able to get up at 6 o'clock and do all these things joyfully. Somebody else is not able to do. Accordingly, they have to adjust their life, isn't it? Now you have now gotten into all this, not because that's what you want to do, you are trying to be like somebody else. That's your whole problem. You want to have what other people have. You don't know whether you really need it or not. With all this work, what you have earned, your children, your husband, your wife or whatever, you are no more enjoying it. Then why do you need all this? All these things you created because you thought this is the source of your joy, isn't it? But right now that has become the source of your anxiety and misery. Then you better look at the fundamentals of your life once again, isn't it? Isn't it so? You got educated, you found a job, you married, you produced children, all this why? Because you thought this is going to be the source of your happiness and well-being, isn't it so? But now that is taking your life. If it is so, you must look at it. One thing is, maybe if you're incapable of handling it, maybe you have to scale it down. If you're capable of enhancing your capabilities, you must do that. Now, if you invest, let us say, even 30 minutes a day into your yoga, you will see you will gain immensely, even in terms of time. One first thing that will happen is, your sleep quota will come down. Now if you're sleeping for 8 hours a day, that means 1/3 of your life you're sleeping it off, isn't it? 1/3 of your life you're just sleeping it off. If your body and your mind is more energized and active, your sleep quota will naturally come down. So if you gain 3-4 hours a day, just in terms of wakefulness, that's a huge thing, isn't it? Apart from that, if your body and mind was more organized, you would see. What I have found with people is, with simple process of yoga, within 6 to 8 weeks, lot of them, their level of performance becomes such. What they were doing in 8 hours, they're very easily able to do it in 3 to 4 hours. Simply because if you observe yourself through the day, suppose we take a video of your whole day without you being aware of it, you will notice how much unnecessary movement and unnecessary words and unnecessary activities are happening in your life. You must do it one day. Please hire a video cameraman and ask him to shoot you without you knowing about it. You will see how many unnecessary things you're doing in a day. If your mind became more organized, these unnecessary words, these unnecessary actions, these unnecessary things will disappear. Once they go away, you have lot of time. You have 24 hours to live. You know? Now, we don't have to make this into 26 hours. 24 hours are enough. We can do a lot in 24 hours. If we are organized and focused human beings, we can do plenty in 24 hours' time. If you're disorganized and unfocused, you think there is no time. Most of you are not busy, you're just preoccupied, aren't you? Isn't it so? Isn't it so? Just too much preoccupation in the mind. So, whoever the lady, please invest this half an hour a day. Get up at 5:30, okay? And you will see, suddenly the quality of your life will be very different. Don't go on with this argument, I have no time. Make time and see, it'll make a huge difference.
Guruji, a person is miserable because of some disability from his birth itself, or he is miserable due to some disease which has happened not because of his doings. According to you, such miserable people should leave the society or others live in happy. How it is possible? How to deal with such miserable people by the society?
Now, nobody is miserable because of a disability. Suppose you had only one hand. One hand less, wouldn't you make you miserable? It is just that everybody else has 2 hands, you have only one, that makes you miserable. One hand less, does it cause misery? Does it cause misery? I'll come to you, I know what you're saying. One hand less or one eye less wouldn't cause misery. What causes misery is everybody else has two, I have only one. That causes misery, isn't it? So, a disease or a disability fundamentally does not cause misery. It creates a certain physical situation. Misery is caused by you, only by you, nobody else but you. Misery is always self-created. Situations are happening. Some situations the way you like it, some situations the way you don't like it, some situations the way you can handle it, some situations the way you cannot handle it. This is how life is happening. But misery is caused by you, isn't it so? A mentally retarded person never suffers. It is other people's attitude towards him which makes him suffer. By himself, he doesn't suffer. Actually, he is more joyful than most other people. Or he just doesn't know what's happening. He just doesn't know what is happening, or generally he is much more happier than other people, isn't it? But it is your attitude towards him, you constantly reminding him that he is not normal, which makes him unhappy, which makes him miserable. It is you depriving him of many things that a human being needs because of his disability, which makes him miserable. So misery is not caused by any situation. Situations are there. Some situations we can handle, some situations we cannot handle. That's how life is. So every situation that you cannot handle, if you want to make yourself miserable, you have lot of opportunity every day. And you're making use of it, obviously. That's why you're making a case out of it. Why should miserable people go to caves? It will be good. Now, disabled people need not go to caves because they are not miserable by themselves. Because they have no idea of what is what. All of you are creating an opinion that you are not okay, you are not okay, you are not okay. That may make him miserable. If you just see, some people come with 2 hands, some people come with 1 hand, some people will come with this bigger brain, some people come with this bigger brain. It is all a part of nature and it is there. What best we can do with them, we do. There would be no misery in disability, isn't it? Isn't it so? If you allowed your humanity to function rather than your prejudice to function, then there would be no misery in disability. So, misery is not because of disability. Misery is caused by you because you're unconscious of what you're doing. Because the basic faculties in you, your mind and body is not in your control. That's why you're causing misery. Please look at your life and see. 4 limbs are intact for you, everything is right for you, but still, how many moments in 24 hours are you truly joyful? Very few, isn't it? If at all, if you are. That's an unfortunate way to live, that's all I'm telling you. What? No, bad things don't happen to anybody. Things happen. Different kinds of things happen to people. When you don't like it, you think it's bad. See, suppose today is your wedding. You have to take a procession on the street. But a huge rain happens today, thunderstorm. It's a bad thing. Your wedding is all drenched. But somebody else has been praying for this rain. Somebody else feels so glad it's raining. So what is bad and good is just what you like and dislike, isn't it? Yes? So, let us not think of life in terms of good and bad, because you are all people who believe in God, isn't it? You believe in God, and when you believe that everything is created by Him, why are you going about judging what is good and bad? Maybe it's all needed for you. Otherwise, your belief is all a fake belief, isn't it? If you believe in God, everything that He is doing must be perfect, isn't it so? Yes or no? Or if His judgment is not good, we must fire Him. Isn't it so? If He doesn't know what He is doing, we must relieve Him of His job. If He knows what He is doing, we should not complain. Is that so? Somewhere we have gotten ourselves into a situation that there is no way out. We have made investments in our deception so deep that there is really no way out. Please see, right now, there is no way out of this. Now, if God knows what He is doing, whatever He does to you, you must be happier and happier, isn't it? Today if He tells you enough of life, come back, you must be very happy because after all you are going to your Creator. But that is not the reality with you, isn't it? Yes? If your doctor tells you, you have only 2 days to live, you will become very miserable. You won't see, this is God's intention, how wonderful I am going back to Him. Will you go joyfully? No. Somewhere you are all mixed up in deceptions. The first and foremost thing that you owe to yourself is, you must at least be straight with yourself, 100%. Maybe you cannot afford to be straight with anybody in the world, but at least with yourself you must be 100% straight. You owe it to yourself, isn't it? Isn't it so? Now you said purva jalma whatever, past life, karmas and vasanas and whatever. From where did you assume that there is another life? Somebody told you, isn't it? Why do you believe what somebody tells you? How do you know this man knows? You do not know, isn't it? Now if I talk about past lives, it may be a reality for me. It may be 100% truth for me. But as far as you are concerned, it is just a fairy tale, isn't it so? Yes or no? If I tell you a fairy tale, you have only two options, either to believe me or disbelieve me. If you believe me, it will not get you anywhere. If you disbelieve me, it will still not get you anywhere. Only thing is, if you believe me, you have an interesting story to tell someone. If you disbelieve, your life is barren. That's all the difference between believers and disbelievers. Disbelievers' life is little barren because they have no fairy tales. Believers have wonderful stories to tell. Isn't it so? You don't like it, I know, but is it so or no? Now, there are some people, see, believing something, why has it arisen within you? Let's look at this. Believing things which are not yet a reality in your life means somewhere you are lying to yourself, isn't it? Does it mean to say I must disbelieve? Disbelieving is also lying to yourself. Somebody believes in this, somebody disbelieves in this. Both of them are believing something, isn't it so? Yes? One person believes it is true, another person believes it is false. Both of them are believing something that they do not know. Once it happened like this. Gautama, the Buddha, you heard of Gautama? Yes. Gautama, one day, early morning, was sitting in a large congregation of his disciples. One man came, early morning. The sun is yet to rise, it is still dark. This man came, stood in the shadows out there. This man is a great devotee of Rama. He is a Ram Bhakta. All his life, he did only Ram, 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 Ram. Nothing else but Ram. His clothes are all printed Ram, Ram, you know, people. He did only Ram, nothing else but Ram. Age is passing away. Little doubt has come. Suppose there is no God, my whole life will go waste. He knows there is God because he just did not go to the temple, he built many temples. But suppose there is no God, the whole life will go waste saying Ram, Ram, Ram. How many of you believe in God? How many of you believe no God? 1, 2, only 2, 3. I thought there would be at least 100 hands. Now, this Ram Bhakta definitely knows there is God, but he just has a little doubt. Suppose there is no God, my whole life will go waste. You know these 4 people who don't believe in God? For them also the sun rises in the morning, from them also flowers bloom, for them also butterflies are beautiful, for them also everything happens. They seem to be even having a better time than me. So suppose there is no God, my whole life will go waste just saying Ram, 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 Ram. Now there is an enlightened being here, he wants to confirm. But being a great bhakta, how to ask this question? So early morning he has come, when it is still dark, he came and stood there in the corner and asked this inevitable question, is there God? Gautama looked at the man and gave a clear, emphatic no. The disciples, big relief. In their minds this struggle has been going on, is there God or no God, God, no God. All the time, whenever they ask such questions, Gautama becomes silent, never answers. For the first time he gave a clear no, no God. The message spread. The enlightened one has declared no God. Joy spread. Because if there is no God, nobody is snooping down on you and keeping accounts of what you're doing and what you're not doing to burn you in hell or whatever. You are just completely your own man. You can do whatever you want with your life, isn't it? So joy spread. Message spread everywhere. Celebrations happened. No God. Enlightened one has declared no God. Everybody happy. Evening, another man came. This man is a Charvaka. He also came and stood there. Sun has set. Once again it's in shadows. The man came and stood there. He is a Charvaka. You know who is a Charvaka? Charvakas were out and out materialists. They don't believe in anything other than what they see. Those days there used to be professional Charvakas. As there are missionaries of God who are going about spreading the belief in God, there are missionaries of no God going about spreading that there is no God, no God, no God. He is an expert Charvaka. Whatever kind of devotee you are, if you talk to him for 10 minutes, he will prove to you there is no God. He has proved to thousands of people no God. Age is passing away. Just a little doubt has come. Suppose there is God. When I go there, will he leave me alone? And these believers also say he has all kinds of torture equipment in his hell and all that stuff. So just a little doubt. He knows there is no God, but little doubt. So he came to confirm. Again he asked the same question, is there God? Gautama looked at the man and said, yes. Again disciples went into turmoil. Morning he said no, they were all happy. Evening he says there is God. What is the game anyway? See, whatever you believe, it is your belief. It's got nothing to do with the reality. You believe there is God, it's your nonsense. You believe there is no God, it is still your nonsense, isn't it? The reality is you really don't know. If you see, I do not know. If you become a big I do not know, then the longing to know will burn within you. When the longing comes, seeking will happen. When the seeking happens, knowing will anyway come. Because what you are sitting is not sitting on top of Himalayas, it is right here. What is within you cannot be denied to you by anybody else except yourself. Isn't it so? Yes? And you will deny it to yourself simply because you believe something. You believe there is God, you believe there is no God. You are still in the same boat, but you think you are opposite parties. Both of you are believing something that you do not know. If you simply say, I do not know, the very nature of your intelligence is such that you cannot live with I do not know forever. You have to find it. Once the longing arises to find it, to know what is within you, to experience what is within you, how long should it take? How long should it take? 12 years of yoga? How long should it take? If you are willing, it's just one moment, isn't it so? Yes? But your willingness is not there because you've invested in your belief systems. You believe in so many things that you do not know. So let's not talk about past lives and future lives. Let's talk about this one. Because you know only this one. Rest is all fairy tale, isn't it? From the moment you were born to this moment, what kind of parents you had, what kind of family you had, what kind of education, what kind of friends, all the things that you did, all the things that you did not do, does it decide who you are right now? Does it decide who you are right now? Yes? The very way you think, the very way you feel, the very way you understand everything is the way your past activity has been, isn't it so? Is that so? Is that so? Yes. So, it is this activity that we are referring to as karma. From the day you were born till now, what all you did, that is your karma. Accordingly, your mind, accordingly you think, accordingly you feel, accordingly you experience your life, isn't it? Does karma go beyond these limitations? Yes, definitely yes, no question about it. But you should not believe it. I'm saying yes. Don't believe the nonsense that I say. I want you to just look into yourself and see what is true with you, what is not true with you. Because if you want to make a journey, if you're serious about making a journey in your life, you must start only from the seat in which you're sitting. Whether your destination is next street or the moon, you can start your journey only from the seat in which you're sitting right now. Is it so? Is it so? If you try to start your journey somewhere else where you are not, then your whole life will be wasted in hallucination. Your whole life will be wasted in imaginations. If you are really sincere and serious about making a journey, first thing is to see, what I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. Now, with my longing to know, I can see what is the next step and the next step and the next step. This is the only way you will go somewhere. Otherwise, you'll just hallucinate.
Dear Sadhguru, it is well known that desire is the cause of all sorrows and tension. But being a wife and a mother, being a wife and a mother, I can't get rid of these desires. I seek your valuable advice in this regard. Thank you.
Now, it's not because you're a wife, an intern, a mother, that your desires have come. If you were nobody's wife, probably you were desiring, when you were nobody's wife, you were desiring to be somebody's wife. Now that you're somebody's wife, you desire to have a child and become a mother. Now that you have a child, now you are saying, it is these two entities which is making me desire. It is not true. If you were nobody's nothing, even then your desire would still burn within you. Is that so? Yes or no? If you are nothing to nobody in the world, still your desire would burn, isn't it? So please don't think your desires are because of your child or your husband or your family or whatever. Any way you would desire, because that's your nature. Now, you made a statement in the question that desire is the source of all misery. Desire is not the source of all misery. Unfulfilled desire is the source of all misery. Isn't it? Isn't it so? Desires fulfilled are the source of your joy. Unfulfilled desires is the source of your misery. Now, what to do with the desire? Shall we kill the desire? I know people have been teaching you such things. You must kill all your desires. Unless you destroy your desires, your misery will not go. These teachings have come to you, isn't it? Now, if you want to destroy all your desires, all you will have is, you will have a great desire to destroy all your desires. And you will remain eternally unfulfilled. I don't want any desires. Is this a desire? Is this a desire or no? Yes. So, if you try to play tricks with this, it's not going to work. Because desire is not desiring for anything in particular. The energy which you call as desire is not different from the energy that you call as life. If you want to move from point A to point B, you need a desire, isn't it? Now, what brought you here today? It is not your bus or car or something else. It is your desire which has brought you here today, isn't it? What is it that will take you home? It is your desire which will take you home. What is it that which will make you eat? It is your desire which will make you eat. So, what you call as desire is not any different from what you call as life. The life is desire. The very basis of your life is desire, isn't it? So if I tell you kill the desire, the only way is to hang yourself. There is really no other way. Now I want to die. That is also a desire, isn't it? Yes or no? So do not deceive yourself with these things. Desire is the very essence of your life. But at the same time, you also know that desire is an unending thing. If you fulfill one, the next one will be ready. If you fulfill that, the next one will be ready. It keeps you on all the time. And obviously some desires will be unfulfilled, and those unfulfilled desires cause much misery to you. If you look at the desire, actually when we started, this is what we were looking at. We just did not use the word desire. There is something within you longing to be little more than what you are right now, isn't it? That is desire. So your desire's ultimate goal is unboundedness, the infinite nature. But because you are unaware, you are giving it an unconscious expression for the longing that is wanting to become unbounded. So you don't have to destroy your desire because you cannot. Can anybody destroy their desire? Is it possible? There is no way, because that's life. It is just that you have to make your desire into your conscious process. Right now it is functioning unconsciously. Because right now your desires are not even about you. Please look at this. Right now you're living in Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram. Your neighbor has a big car. What is your desire? You want to have 2 cars like that. Now you don't know all these cars, you are living in a remote place and your neighbor has 1 big buffalo. What is your desire? You want to have 2 buffaloes like that. So your desire is just a reaction to the social situations in which you're living, isn't it? This is so because this longing to expand is finding unconscious expression. If you make your process of desiring into your conscious process, then desire is no more a problem. Desire is a wonderful vehicle which will take you places. Even if you want to reach the ultimate, you need a desire, isn't it? Yes or no? Anyway, the desire in you is longing for unboundedness, it is longing for unlimitedness, it is longing for the ultimate nature. You just have to bring awareness to it. If you bring awareness to your desiring process, it is a wonderful instrument. If it is finding unconscious expression, then it makes you run like madman. All the time it keeps you running endlessly. So, being a wife, being a mother, it's extremely important. Now that you're a mother, not a small responsibility. You brought another human being into this planet. Now, what kind of human being you produce is a very huge responsibility, isn't it? It is not just about reproduction. What kind of next generation you create is in your hands as a mother, isn't it? Yes? What kind of people are going to live on this planet in the next generation is decided by the mothers of today, isn't it? When such a responsibility you have, you cannot afford to live unconsciously. You must become conscious. Especially the woman must become conscious. It's very, very important.
Sadhguru, in these current times, we have witnessed the proliferation of a number of spiritual gurus. As a seeker on this path, how do I recognize my guru?
If you happen to set your eyes on one, just one in your life, you are very fortunate. Where did you get to see number of them? I don't know. It is just that anybody who reads 2 chapters of Bhagavad Gita can become a guru. Anybody who knows 1 chapter of Bible can become a guru. Anybody who's read half a book can become a guru. If you're talking about that, that's different. Or anybody who just willing to give you a great hope that I will take care of everything in the world, unfortunately passes off as a guru. We've had too many people like this on the planet, and especially in our country, who have been promising us, don't worry, I am here, everything will be all right. Isn't it so? For all the ages they have been saying it, isn't it? But people have been struggling with their daily life as usual. So many people have been blessing you and blessing you and blessing you, and still in this country half the people don't have food in their stomach. Still, we don't even know how to live as basic human beings. Isn't it so? So, when you say guru, you are referring to a whole band of circus gurus. All kinds of people who offer solace. People who offer solace, at the most you can call them as saints. They have a certain pleasantness about them. They are pleasant human beings. They are much more pleasant than ordinary human beings on the street, and they have good intentions. Good intentions and pleasant nature does not make you a guru. Maybe we can call this person a holy person, a saintly person, something like this. A guru need not necessarily be pleasant. See, I am not. Need not necessarily be pleasant because it is not his intention to be sweet to you. His intention is to awaken you, not to put you to sleep. If I am very sweet to you, you'll feel happy and fall asleep. A guru is somebody who disturbs the fundamental aspects in you. All kinds of conclusions that you have drawn, he disturbs everything in you. He doesn't allow you to sleep. He is not a solace peddler. He is somebody who is there to assist you towards your liberation. Now, solace is once again an effort to survive in the planet, isn't it? Yes? Psychological solace is just your psychological survival here, isn't it? If survival is all you're seeking, you should not look for a guru. You should look for solace peddling people. You look for a guru only when you're willing to awaken yourself, when you're willing to transform yourself, when you're willing to drop your limitations and go into other dimensions of life. If such longing has not come yet, do not bother about gurus. You settle yourself somewhere, go to a cinema, eat some good food, take a walk in the beach, it'll help. Now, how do I recognize my guru? You don't look for your guru, okay? You just deepen the longing in you. When you know the pain, when you know the true pain of not knowing, when you know the pain of ignorance, then a guru will happen. You don't have to look. Even if I see him, how do I recognize him? If you sit with him, everything in you should feel threatened. You want to run away, but there is something in you which keeps on pulling you towards him. You don't want to be there, but there is something in you keeps drawing you in his direction. We can assume that this is your guru. If you don't feel threatened by him, if you feel very comfortable with him, then he is not your guru, maybe he is your friend. Maybe he is a good man, maybe you should seek his blessings, but he is not your guru. Because if you choose, you will choose what you like, isn't it? Yes? If you choose, what will you choose? You will choose what you like. What is it that you always like? That which supports your ego, you like. That which punctures your ego, you don't like. Anybody who supports your ego is your friend, isn't it so? Anybody who tampers with your ego is your enemy, isn't it so? So, if your guru also is one more who supports your ego, this is a no good guru. If you sit with him, you should feel threatened. But still, if you are drawn towards him, he's your guru.
Guruji, what is destiny and fate?
What is destiny and fate? The sum total of all the impressions that you have taken in creates certain tendencies within you. Everything that has gone into you through five sense organs is recorded inside. An amalgamation of all these impressions that you have taken in the form of life starts creating their own tendencies. These tendencies tend to take you this way or that way. It takes different people in different directions. But if you are willing to make your life process conscious, then there is no destiny for you. Destiny is 100% your creation. Even now it is so. It is just that you are creating it unconsciously. But you can also create it consciously to an extent that the very way you live, the very way you die will be by choice. The very womb that you choose will be by choice. You can take your destiny to your hands to that extent. The moment you say, I am on the spiritual path, what it means is that I have taken my destiny into my hands. Whatever my karma says, whatever my society says, whatever my parents were, that's not the point. I am going towards liberation and that's all. That means you've taken your destiny into your hands, isn't it? Yes? The moment you say, I am on the spiritual path, you have taken your destiny into your hands. And you should. Once you are born as human being, you should not live. You should not become who you are because of the situations in which you live. You must make the situations happen. Just being influenced by situations is animal nature. Human nature means he creates his situations, isn't it? So, if you're allowing your life to happen to you helplessly, you are ruled by destinies. Destinies are just an accumulated impressions within you which are creating certain direction to your life. But if you become conscious, you can create a conscious direction to your life.
Dear Guruji, can you tell something about the Dhyanlingam temple?
Dhyanalinga? You heard about Dhyanalinga? No? Not at all? First of all, what is a linga? The word linga literally means the form. Why we are saying the form is, when this existence… Today, modern science is telling you the whole existence is just energy. Yes, the same energy. You know this? You know this or no? The modern science is proving to you beyond any doubt that the whole existence is just one energy, manifesting itself in million different ways. Your religions, whichever religion you belong to, has always been insisting God is everywhere. Whether you say God is everywhere or everything is one energy, is it any different? Same reality? Is it so? When Einstein says E is equal to mc squared, he is just proving this to you, that the whole existence is just the same energy. He likes to call it E, we call it Ishvara. He likes to call him by the initial, we give him a name. But we are saying the same thing, isn't it? Now, linga means when the unmanifest energy begins to find manifestation, the first form that it takes is always a perfect ellipsoid. You know what's an ellipsoid? An ellipse, you know what's an ellipse? A three-dimensional ellipse is a ellipsoid. It is based on this that the linga making came. Linga means a perfect ellipsoid. In yoga, in the yogic sciences, we have always been aware that the first form is linga and the final form is also linga. If you raise into a certain pitch of meditation within you, before a point, when you come to a point where you are on the verge of dissolution, the final form that you take is also the form of an ellipsoid, which is a linga. So linga is seen as a doorway from both sides, from unmanifest to manifest and from manifest to unmanifest. The first and the last form in creation is linga. Today, modern cosmologists have taken pictures of various galaxies and they are saying, the core of every galaxy is an ellipsoid. Because the first form is always an ellipsoid and the final form is always also an ellipsoid. So this is what is known as a linga. Say, for example, this paper, you hold this paper in your hand, then you give it to me. I will hold it in my hands just for 10-20 seconds and give it back to you. You will see this piece of paper will feel different in your hands. I will energize this paper in such a way that it will feel very different in your hands. But within a few minutes, once again this will be just a piece of paper. You can energize any object, but once again it will become the same. But the form of a linga, if you make it with the right material, with proper understanding of what it is and energize it, it becomes a perennial storehouse of energy, where people can make use of it for their well-being in different levels. Dhyanalinga is unique because it has all the 7 basic manifestations of life in it. It is like a live person. It is the energy body of a live person. Only the physical body is missing. Dhyanlinga temple is in 100% silence. There are no rituals, there are no pujas. You just sit there quietly. No belief system. If you simply sit there quietly, even if you do not know what is meditation, without a single instruction, you will become meditative. It is a very powerful space, it will shake you from the root of your spine. It is very powerful space. Even architecturally, it's quite a unique place in many ways. People from all religious groups, from various parts of the world, come here because it's purely meditative space. It is like whoever you are, whatever you are, you can take in a seed of spiritual process into you without an instruction, just being in the space of the linga. There is a whole science as to how to create this. This was a science that was well understood and practiced in this culture, but it got disturbed when the bhakti movement swept the country. When bhaktas, earlier temples were built as a science, as a place that you can go, sit and make use of. If you do not know this, Indian temples have never been a place of prayer. Nobody leads the prayer. You are supposed to sit there for some time. Have they told you this traditionally? You go to the temple, you're required to sit there for some time. Is it so? Have they told you? No? They have told you. Because if you create certain parameters, the size and shape of the idol, the mudra that the idol holds, the mantras that you use for it, the size and shape of the sanctum sanctorium, the size and shape of the parikrama, all these things, if they are properly matched and created, it becomes a powerful field of energy. Morning, first thing in the morning, you have a bath, you go sit in the temple, then go out into the world. It is like a public battery charging place. And the traditions also say that once you are on a spiritual path, you need not go to the temple every day. Are you aware of this? A householder should go to the temple every day. A person on the spiritual path need not go to the temple every day because now he's got his own self-charging methods. If you don't have self-charging methods, there was a public charging place for you to charge yourself. But when the bhakta started building the temple, a devotee does not care for science. A devotee grows with just the strength of his emotion. His emotion is everything for him. When such people started building temples, they just started building it whichever way they like. Because a devotee is like a lover. He just wants to do whatever he feels like to his God. So they started building temples whichever way they like. Anybody who had a piece of stone and a chisel, they started making lingams. So they became too many. Otherwise, this is a very deep science of creating human well-being in a completely different dimension. Now that you asked this question, I would like to take this opportunity that if you have already not been there, you must visit this place. We are at the foothills of Velangiri Mountains, about 30 kilometers from Coimbatore. It's a place that you must experience in your life.
You are my perfect mirror, you show me what I'm not. In the endless pit of what once was me, layer and layer you peel off me. The pain it is, but the joy it brings. So thank you for showing me what I'm not, for showing me what I could be.